and on ZingoTV on Chromecast and all smart TVs 2016 forward. Please remember to download the Barn Burner and ZingoTV apps in their respective app stores. Both are free on both iOS and Android devices. While you're using the apps, please remember to rate and leave a comment so we know that you are enjoying them and getting the most out of your usage. So, on this episode of 6 and 6, I'm really pleased to be joined by Sarah Evkatu Godbout of the Toronto Six. Sarah, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, really exciting times as we get closer to the Lake Placid bubble. And I mean, it's been a long time coming. You've been here for several months now practicing. You were the second signing for the Toronto Six. So let's get into it right away. And I think the first question maybe I'll start off with is just given the complexities of this year, what has, being with the Six been like amid the last, 8 months with the pandemic and getting here and getting started?
Yeah, it's been different than what I'm used to, definitely because of the pandemic. But we get to know the players more and more every day because I would say at the beginning of the year we would practice just half and half, so we wouldn't like switch the groups. So it's been good to know more of the other players that I haven't been playing with as much. We're having a lot of fun right now, and we're definitely focusing on Lake Placid, so that's really good.
And for the last, several months, you guys have been focusing on any scenario of being able to play this year. The objective was to make sure that Toronto gets to play this year, given the circumstances. And so playing in Lake Placid is, I mean, as good a deal as it gets. And, for the sake of women's hockey, a really professional way. And especially given that it will be the only hockey going on until the NHL, which literally follows right in its footsteps. So, what does that mean for the women's game, and especially for an inaugural team like Toronto to be able to pull off something, this, amazing given the circumstances?
It means a lot for us for sure. Like you said, it's a big step for women's hockey and women's in sport, just to show everyone that we have the ability to play during this pandemic and we're able to make it happen. And like you said, show everyone that like the game and everything, how good and the potential that we have. I think it's very important. And there's not a lot of sports playing going right now, so it will be a good window for us to just show our skills.
Absolutely. And something really neat for you is that you are one of several Quinnipiac Bobcats of the past and present. Alongside you is Emma Woods, Cheyenne Darkangelo, and one other's name I am failing to remember. But I think it's really cool that, this team is made up of so many unique parts, from the SDHL to the NCAA to players who came over from the PWHPA. So, what's it been like the last several months to, just have fun with it, form chemistry, and, become close with your new teammates?
Yeah, it's been good seeing some familiar faces there. Like you said, Emma Woods, and there's Emma Greco that I played with my first year at Quinnipiac. They were seniors, so it's been really good and fun to just get back with them, and we are able to have fun and everything. But also very nice to meet new players, different backgrounds. Some of them have played pro for years. Some of them are just like me, rookies in the pro ranks. So there's a lot of, like you said, different players, and I think it's what makes our team very special.
And this year, given the unique situation that we're under of COVID-19, not only are you not playing at home, but for the coaches, there was a hunt for a head coach, but the complexities didn't exactly make that easy to name one, just given that I assume those who were in the hunt were based in the US. So as a result of that, Digit Murphy, the president of the team, decided herself to be the head coach for this year. So can you talk about, your relationship with Digit this far and, her leadership of the Six?
Yeah, Digit is really she's a fun person, really outgoing. She brings a lot of energy off the ice. On the ice, I would say she's really calm, and she's really taking time. Like, she's patient with us. She's really also ends off. She wants us to just be hockey players and not think too much, which is like different than I would say being at college, where you have this structure that you've been on for 4 years, and like where everyone's gonna be. Now it's more like play with just play hockey, and it's fun. I think everyone likes Digit. She's really liked in the team, and she's a good coach.
So with that being said, let's kind of turn back the clock to around the time that you first signed, as again, you were the second player, if I remember correctly, to sign with Toronto. So can you talk a little bit about, how you were approached to join the NWHL and, I guess what went into the thought process of you signing your contract?
Yeah, I had some thought about going to Sweden, but then with the pandemic and everything, I thought it would be easier for me to stay like in the like US or Canada. So, and I went on the NWHL site and I just signed as a free agent because they didn't think I was available for the draft because I was thinking about going to Sweden. So as soon as I put myself as a free agent, I got some calls from different teams, and then Digit called me, and I think she was really like she's just like a fun person, really up to beat and everything. So, and she coached my coach at Quinnipiac, Cass Turner. So it was just like familiarities, I would say. And then being the first team in Canada, I wanted to be a part of that for sure.
So you mentioned the interest in you from other teams, and why wouldn't there be? So what was it that made the decision to join Toronto? Was it Digits, energy and her? Because maybe I'll word it this way. I spoke with Lindsay Eastwood as my very first guest on the show back in August, and she said something along the lines of it was like Digits' persona that really pushed her to join this team. So what was it for you that kind of drew you in?
I think, yeah, for sure, Digit. She really wanted me to be on the team, and she made it clear that she would have a spot for me and she would very like to have me on the team, like I said. And but also I would say like just being in Canada, I haven't played here in a while just because I was gone for college, and just making history with the first team in Canada. So it's just like all of this made it like a package, like a deal for me, you know.
Right. And now, again, you're skating with your team, which is, again, soon to be 18 players with the arrival of Emily Fluke. And with preparations of the Lake Placid tournament, you guys are working on all sorts of things. And I understand you guys are doing a lot of flow drills in these cohorts, meaning that you guys are nowhere near each other while you're skating, again, just to kind of avoid any possible COVID transmission. So, what has skating in these times been like, especially again, knowing that you guys are unable to play as a full team, only having had one practice somewhat recently in Alliston, Ontario?
Yeah, it's for sure different. It's challenging. Like you said, not being able to practice as a full team, it's different from what everyone is used to. We're working a lot on like skills compared to working on a lot of, I would say, tactics and teams. Like we're working on what we can work right now, and I think it's going to be exciting to practice as a full team for the first time or so at Lake Placid and see all things are just working out together because I think it will. But like yeah, it's just challenging. It's different.
Right. And I mean, these challenges, again, is part of the reason why Tyler Tumminia, the new commissioner, was able to pull off something like this to try and limit as many challenges as possible. And it's not a normal season, but playing in a historic building, your coach Digit, as well as I understand, I think a couple players have some sort of familiarity growing up playing in there. So, entering her Brooks Arena in just under 40-ish days, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot, just that building and the whole history of it. And for us to be the first like professional like tournament being there, a women's professional tournament, it's huge. And like I said, it's like a big deal, and we're really excited to go there.
Right. And I mean, again, this is the site of the 1980 Miracle on Ice. And so Miracle on Ice, I think, is what the Toronto Six will be. Again, you guys are chasing the Isabel Cup, and there seems to be a lot of confidence within your locker room and within Digit, who said Miracle on Ice 2 will be Canada, just like it was the last time Miracle on Ice took place. So, with that being said, you know what you guys are chasing, and inaugural teams, for whatever reason it is, they tend to do really well. So, I guess with that being said, who do you think your biggest rival is going to be this season, and why?
For now, I think it would be Boston. I think we have like some rivalry already with them. Uh, Especially like on Twitter and everything. I saw the things that the teams are tweeting, I think it's really funny. I think it's a good competition and a good like rivalry that like we haven't even stepped on the ice one foot, and then there's already this. So I think it's gonna be fun playing against them.
Yeah, I think that's added a lot of fun, and it's been really entertaining to watch in the last couple days and see that the social media managers poking fun at each other, and I think that that's it just adds something different that you don't even see in professional hockey a lot. So I think that having that in the NWHL and a bunch of fun people is something that the NWHL is working to along with professional standards. So speaking of professional standards is actually where I'm going to go next. We spoke just off the record before the show began about the new locker room unveiled yesterday, finally after 2 weeks of keeping secrets, as it was worded by the Toronto Six. So what were your first thoughts on this beautiful new locker room that the ownership group put in place for you guys?
It's a really clean and neat place for sure. It's beautiful with the maple wood that our stalls are. I think it's huge. Just they really put the standard high for women's hockey. Like we haven't, like I said, we haven't stepped on the ice yet, and we have a brand new locker room like this. I think the owners are just they're awesome. They're just very like they believe in us and they believe in what they're doing with hockey, women's hockey, and it's just we're so happy. We're really thankful for it, and we love it for sure.
As I understand, this is like the first time an ownership group has literally paid to put something like this in place, which I think is awesome if you look at the rest of the NWHL, where the Boston Pride are also privately owned. However, my understanding is they do not have this exact same thing. So it makes it all the more special that Joanna Nielsen Boynton put this in place for you guys. So I guess with that in mind, you guys before being able to hit the ice were doing, from my understanding, Zoom calls to get to know each other, to get to know Digit, and that was before she even was named as head coach and was still in Providence. Tyler Tuminia. So did you guys get to know Joanna at all?
Yes, a little bit. We have sometimes some Zoom calls with the owners and other like important people in the direction of the team. So we get to meet them, which is like really cool. I think also for them to see us and see where they're, like putting their time and investments for, and then it just puts like the team more at ease, I would say.
Right. So as we talk more about professional standards, let's now turn the clock to your NCAA days with the Quinnipiac Bobcats. So first off, why Quinnipiac?
A lot of reasons. I really love the campus, the facilities, how professional the program is taking care of the athletes. And also, I would say the biggest part was Cass Turner. She was my head coach at Team Canada. And then when she got the head coach position at Quinnipiac, she just called me and I came visit and I just really loved it.
Right. So again, with her being a big influence now, let's now take a look at the hockey team. Every NCAA team is kind of different. In normal times, of course, a lot of NCAA teams are able to fill the stands really easily. However, there are other schools who can't. So what was that like for you on a regular game day basis? Were they able to fill seats a little bit?
I mean, yeah, the rink is pretty big. I think it holds more than 3,000 fans, but we would have our regular fan base. They would be able to bring a lot of, like activities with the game. And we had basketball just across from our rink. So they would do things with like, hey, go to the basketball game and the women's game. And that would be really awesome. Sometimes we would get like so many fans, and it was just like an unbelievable experience overall.
So from that thought, I want to give you this thought of the if you can see it, you can be it model. So even as a college player, what was it like to kind of, you walk onto the ice for the first time for a game in any given day, and you look up as you're hitting the ice and you see the fans in the stands, whether it's students or parents or both even. So what does that mean to you just to have that support, especially because it's not going to be the same way this year with the six, but how does that drive home the point for women's hockey and what you guys are looking to do?
It's unreal just seeing how big the game is growing, how many fans we are attracting in the stands. It's honestly like some games where it was just packed. I would say against Yale because they were nearby us. So it just like the atmosphere and everything, you just feel special, especially when like some of your student friends are just coming to cheer on your team or other teams are coming to cheer. It's really special.
Yeah, I think that look, it obviously means a lot in the NWHL. We've seen that, especially in Boston, who managed to sell out most of their games, including the All-Star game. And it sucks that you guys aren't going to be able to do this, at least this year. But hopefully at Kenlin next year, you guys are going to be able to. And it seems that a fan base is quickly growing here in Toronto. And so, at least on social media, along with the fun being poked at between, Minnesota, Boston, Toronto, just to kind of keep things light, is that it's also growing that fan base for you guys to have in the seats here in Toronto again when able to. So, what are you looking forward to the most about, finally getting your pro career underway?
I would say just getting on the ice, like get the first game, and then after build from that, I'm excited to see just like the pace of the game, how it's gonna go and everything. I'm just gonna try not to put too much pressure on myself, just do my game and play hard. But I'm just really excited to just get things started. It's been so long since I played a game, and especially with this being my first year in the pro ranks, it's gonna feel special. I'm gonna be a good kind of nervous.
All right. So you also mentioned that you played with Team Canada in the past. So can you talk about what that meant for you to be able to represent your country? And then, maybe I'll follow it up with another question. Maybe answer this one first, then I'll pitch you with the other one.
Okay, it was really special for sure. Just representing your country is something bigger like than yourself. It's just like, oh my God, I have the leaf on my jersey, and everything. Uh, Especially coming from a small town where I played boys my whole life. So I was playing boys and then I got recruited for Team Canada. So it was just like awesome to just see like on the board when there's like the scoreboard, there's like Canada and there's like US or Russia or anything. It's just like, wow, I made it.
Yeah, I think that's something that really resonates with anyone who gets to represent their country. And something that was really funny to me a while back when I was doing some research, I think just around the time you signed, is that you weren't the only member of the six on that roster at the time. You were with Lindsay Eastwood, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Of course, you didn't know her, or at least to the level that you do now. So, what's it like to have that come full circle and be able to play with her?
Oh, it's awesome. And we remember some good experiences being at camps and playing on that team. It was good to see her again, have fun with her. She's a great person, a great D. She's really strong, tall. I think she's gonna be awesome at the blue line for us.
And did you get to play against her in the NCAA? Do you have any memories of that?
No, we haven't played against each other. We're in different leagues and we haven't had the chance to play against.
Yeah, I'm not so familiar with the college game, so I
Yeah.
just thought I would ask that. So, that being said, I'm gonna add one more thing to the pro standards thought before we get into family roots to round out today's show. So in the NCAA, they're really known for pro standards, from locker rooms to
Hmm.
scheduling and making sure you guys are given the right amenities to perform to your best. So in the NCAA, what was that like for you at Quinnipiac?
It was for me. It was kind of like the NHL. Like it was just we were treated so well. Equipment wise, we would get new equipment every year. Time on the ice wise, like we could go on the ice. The ice was ours. We weren't sharing with any other like kids or anything. It was just QU, like men's and women's. So that was awesome. The gym, like the overall experience was just something bigger than what I was expecting. But yeah, it was. I felt like a pro already over there.
Right. And again, these are not normal times. So rather than, being in the gym here in Toronto, you guys have been doing something really interesting, doing your adversity training outside in the cold. So what was that, or what has that been like? I don't know if you guys are still currently doing that as it gets colder, but what has that been like?
It's been different. We were feeling like kind of like Rocky, like the movie. It was just like working out outside in the really cold temperature. But I think it built our character in adversity. Now we're kind of ready to face anything. It was definitely not what anyone was used to, but we made it work, and I think we're just like a positive team overall.
Yeah, and I think that's what stands out the most about you guys is that there's so much positivity and you guys can face anything and just go with it. And again, due to COVID-19 is why you guys weren't able to be inside in the TPA sports gym. And so having to do it outside, but I don't know, it just adds another level of, I don't know, excitement might be the right word to, again, none of these are normal, but at the same time adds fun, adds excitement. And I think that that's been really special. So with about 3 minutes left now, I just want to kind of talk about your family and, you're growing up in hockey. So do you want to tell me how you kind of got into hockey?
Uh, that came up really when I was young, like maybe 2.5 years old. I wanted a pair of skates, and the rest is just like history. I had like a outdoor little rink at home, and I learned how to skate over there. And then small town, like I said, I played with boys my whole life, my whole youth career, and yeah, I played outside. There's so many rinks, and it's super cold, so I would always be on the rinks outside.
Yeah, and this used to be something that really resonates in Quebec, at least, is, and I guess for that matter in Ontario too, the history of the fact that women's hockey hasn't always been to level where girls can play with girls. Girls have had to play with boys in boys leagues and make it work. And, we see that from, as history's shown with Manon Rume, Haley Wickenheiser, who's played with boys her whole career in Saskatchewan and then overseas in Sweden. And, that's just kind of par for the course. But, so I guess that being said, does it make playing pro women's hockey all the more special, being able to have overcome that and, find yourself where you are now?
Oh yes, for sure. Just seeing how, like, and I'm still in contact with those guys I played with, and it's just like all the support we still get from them. Just like me being pro in the pro ranks, it's just it makes it really more special, like you said.
Now, again with women's hockey, we know about the challenges and how that's, never really been normal again with the girls not being able to play with girls until, the more recent years. But that being said, the national team has always been around. So, who was a player you looked up to kind of be like, especially now as you start your pro career?
I would say Caroline Ouellette and Marie-Philippe Poulain because they're both from Quebec. They're big figures in women's ice hockey, especially for Canada. Just both talented. Poulain is probably the best in the world, so I think a lot of kids were looking up to her.
I have to agree with that statement. She is one of the best in the world. There's no question asked about that. So that
Hmm.
being said, I've got 2 more minutes with you, so I'm going to try and squeeze in one or two more questions. What is your daily routine like, whether it be a practice day or a non-practice day? Like, especially because now a season is coming, and there were questions about that and how that would affect you as a player. So what does that look like?
Yeah. So I would just wake up and then have one workout done, especially like a strength workout, and then I would add up like a cardio, then stretching, yoga. Sometimes I add that in the afternoon. Would have a nap and then get ready for practice at night. We have usually a 2 hour practice, so it gets and then I am of course resting to get ready for the tournament.
And I think it's going to be really exciting. So that being said, Sarah, thank you so much for taking time today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Justin.
Totally my pleasure. So that does it for another episode of Sticks and Sticks right here on the Barn Burner TV network and Zingo TV channel 250. Sarah, where can you be found on social media?
Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
What is your handle?
Sarah Coutu Godbout.
So that's where you can find Sarah. For all updates on the Toronto Six, follow at the Toronto Six on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, at NWHL and NWHL.zone respectively on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And for updates on the Six, as I start to compile more information as with regards to the new players and other things, at Justin Levine HBS. And these aren't normal years, but make sure you are supporting your Toronto Six as they hit the ice in Lake Placid. Sarah is a star and will she will present as that in Lake Placid. So again, Sarah, thanks so much. That's Sarah. I'm Justin. This is Six and Six.